What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're checking out a title called Blackout Protocol. This game has infrequent closed betas, and I've been a part of 2 or 3 of them now. I have about 3 hours in the game, and Blackout Protocol I think is a little bit intriguing. It's a game with a great art style, it's a game with great map design, and at its core, it wants to be a co-op Left 4 Dead style squad-based zombie survival game that takes place inside sort of like a government facility that's been taken over by some kind of eldritch device that's gone AWOL, basically, and you are a number of government agents that are going down into there to wipe out everything, clear all the hard drives, and fix the problem so that nobody ever finds out there was a giant extra-dimensional portal right next to Reno somewhere, or right next to Las Vegas. In this game, it does have roguelite elements, as I mentioned, so as you play through, you are going to upgrade your character, who will just get better in perpetuity, independent of what run they are currently on. And on each run, you do get randomized perks a la Hades as you survive and as you take on challenges that will make each run feel distinct. So, let's play some Blackout Protocol. It is the last 2 hours before the closed beta goes down. If after watching this you wanted to get the game and check it out, you can sign up for the closed beta on the Steam page that's listed down below. I'm recording this on the last day of the beta because it's only had like 100 people playing for this entire beta, so it's been very difficult to find a team to play the game with and actually get footage pieced together. I'm hoping it goes okay here today. This is like my 4th attempt. I'm hoping that if I do a video on this game and it does well, the next beta will have way more people giving feedback. You'll also down below find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream. I know that was a weird segue, but we were kind of talking about where you could get the beta of this game, which is also kind of down in like the description nebulous, if you wanted to hang out live any given day of the week. I'm going to go ahead and kick off a lobby here. It may take us a while to matchmake. There's no guarantee that this lobby is going to be successful. Worst case scenario is after I do this intro and after we do a little bit of waiting, I have captured like 2 hours worth of footage for this game, so I may try to piece it together and just do post commentary if a live commentary thing doesn't work. So the first thing you got to do in this game when you start out playing is you got to pick a character. This game is highly cooperative. So this is not a game where you can lone wolf your way out of situations like in Killing Floor. Like back in the day with Killing Floor, I could carry entire lobbies by myself because I had thousands of hours played, and it was just easy to me at that point. It was my favorite game. This is not that game. This game you cannot survive on your own. You will get absolutely trounced. You need teammates. You need to be like communicating and watching angles. You need to have good builds, which is actually kind of important. A 4-man team in this game with good builds is like night and day versus a 4-man team that has like bad builds and like people are just throwing their points around willy-nilly. And so there is a little bit of a meta to this game, but each character plays a little bit differently, but mostly the same. So the Boy Scout, he's got an active ability called Outburst. He slams the ground, it knocks back zombies all over the place. It's basically a knockback grenade that's on a cooldown. We have Red. Red has an ability called Gearhead, where it increases the speed of her firing rate. So her gun, if you can actually kind of break her, if you give her a gun like a revolver or something with a very slow cycle rate, but it hits really hard, and then you use Gearhead, it basically just turns into an automatic gun that hits for a ridiculous amount of damage, which can be quite good in the right circumstance. There's Scalpel. I don't see anybody play her, which makes me think she's not very good. Everybody I ever see playing the game is either Boy Scout or Medic. I've been playing Red because I'm a relentless contrarian and I like to play like the engineering class, but you know. Over here there's Scalpel. She's a scientist. She has an ability where she stabs a guy, and if they die it heals her for a whole bunch and then she jumps backwards. I don't know how good it is. I haven't played around with her. And then Beaker, the medic. Beaker throws a healing grenade on the ground every X amount of time to heal the party. Probably the best character. There's definitely some things here that I think they could be doing better. I will talk about those. So I feel like the Boy Scout and I feel like Beaker are well designed. I think Red and I think Scalpel are probably going to have their special ability moved around a little bit. Gearhead is okay. Severance is like okay, but neither one of them are nearly as good as like Outburst and Recovery Vial in my opinion. And so I do have some ideas that would make Red actually a good team player. And then I haven't really played Scalpel too much, but it's not hard to see where the gaps are in this game. We'll play as Red for right now. The game has a very charming art style, and in fact, I have found that the game also has really good map design, oddly enough. It's a good-looking game once you actually get into it. Now, I've created a lobby here. We got to wait for some people to file on in, but it will allow me to go over some gameplay basics as we get started. It's going to let me pick my guns at the beginning of the game. This is largely because as you play through the game randomly, there's going to be blueprints that drop, and once you turn in those blueprints at a safe point, or at a safe spot, or like a safe house, it becomes unlocked for the rest of the game, and you can start out with it from there on in. I prefer the assault rifle, so I'm going to take the assault rifle, but the beam cannon, it's not really like a beam cannon. It's kind of like a projectile rifle, and then this is like a grenade launcher. You'll notice that the background of those weapons were differing colors. The backgrounds of those weapons being differing colors is there for a reason. If I press I and we go to our inventory right here, it's red because it corresponds to the firearms stat at the bottom of the screen. You'll note that there's 2 diamonds on this gun. As we level up our firearms stat, as we level up and play through the campaign, our firearms will get better. Our psionics weapons will get better if we choose all pink points. If we choose yellow points, you know, our yellow guns will get better. And that's part of the building in this game, to have like a good solid build that actually assists your team. We also have enhancements. These can be temporary, like synaptics. Those only last for 1 run. And then there's persistent upgrades as well, which you bank every single time you get to a safe house, that just permanently make your character better. So I have the ability to reroll some of my enhancements. I have it so that when I get downed, the permanent damage to my health bar is reduced by 30%. And then I have a regeneration perk that makes me just get health back as long as I'm not getting hit. Very helpful stuff. For right now, we want to wait for some more people. This game is highly cooperative. You're going to get smoked if you play alone. So we kind of want to have a full lobby before we go on in. It'll also help if everybody's competent, but like, you know, this being the internet and also being a brand new beta, there may be people that are not super good at the game diving on in, but we'll try to play around it. I'm not going to pretend like I'm the king of the game either. I've only got like 3 hours this beta, so... All right, folks are ready to go. We got ourselves a lobby. Hell yeah. Let's do this thing. Now, the map design in this game is quite good. It is a set map, but that comes with a little bit of a caveat. So, it's the same map every time you play, but parts of it will rotate and parts of it will connect differently. And then there's little event areas, too, that will 100% be different about every time you play. So like we're going from bottom right to left right now. That means the map's going to cut to the left over here with like a blockage. If this bridge was going left to right, the map layout would be different after this, but still the same every single time. Okay, so here's the example of what I'm talking about. Normally this rubble is gone, and to the left-hand side, there's like a temporary military camp over there. The military camp can be full of commandos that you have to kill in order to steal their loot, or the military camp can be already killed by the zombies, and then you have to clear a whole bunch of undead in order to get the loot that's inside the military camp, or, like on this playthrough, it can be blocked with concrete. It's totally random what you get, and the layout of your campaign is going to be different because of that. Now, our characters each have a blue bar and a purple bar above their heads. What does that mean? Blue bar is health, purple bar is your... Purple bar is going to be your sanity or your panic. When it goes down to 0, you get a fisheye lens effect that zooms in your camera and makes it very difficult to play the... Oh, boy. Well, it's a good thing somebody brought a minigun. There is friendly fire in this game. It is super hardcore, so do not shoot your teammates. This is a game that's going to require some coordination and just kind of learning to hold your fire. Everything in this game causes friendly fires, so throwing a grenade wrong can kill your entire team. Having somebody walk into your line of sight while you're mag dumping your AR can kill them. It's not good, so try to avoid getting got if you can. Like, try to hold smart angles, try to stay wide on your teammates and whatnot. Try to think about the trigonometry of the situation. So, for example, I could have fired at the zombie that was on Step Sky, but I didn't, because I would have hit him with stray rounds and probably ultimately caused more damage than the zombie's going to. Those little purple potatoes on the ground, they're like eldritch monsters. They can bite you, and they can't deal damage to you, but they can damage your sanity or your panic. So you're going to want to avoid that as much as possible. The only way to make them go away is to point a flashlight at them. So sometimes it helps to have like a dedicated flashlight guy. That's a special infected. He was dead almost instantly, but I've seen that guy wipe entire teams if they aren't ready for him. Let's push this barricade out of the way, and we've got a shotgun. Oh, a submachine gun. Nice. $400 for a submachine gun, huh? I'll take a submachine gun instead of my pistol. Yeah, we'll try to do a firearms build this time around. This is a nether cube right here. The nether cube is how you get temporary perks. Look at the color of the perk, and that's what it's going to add stats to. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything that was super helpful, but recover 5 HP every 4 seconds isn't bad and stacks into the regeneration that I already have. So I'll take that. We've actually got some commandos over here we've got to deal with, but I'm waiting for line of sight to clear on out. They've basically got the lanes covered. There we go. Just drop them real quick. There are consumables that you can have on your character, like grenades, lures, minefields, stuff like that. Oh, I thought I had like a cheeky spot right there. I kind of do have a cheeky spot right there. Did they throw grenades? Or did somebody just get blown up? I think somebody got exploded by a barrel, I think is what happened. I'm going to stand next to him because I've got my AoE heal for my teammates, I think. Or do I not have that on this run? Maybe I only have the heal for me on this run. There are differing opponents in this game. There are eldritch monsters, there are zombies, and then I think there are also kind of like competing government agencies that are trying to get in here and steal stuff. That's why you're running into commandos. It's not really like explained, but there is pretty good enemy diversity in this game, in all honesty. They did a good job with it. This is going to be a mess over here. I was going to say, this is a job for the minigun. Yeah, this hallway is always kind of a nightmare. I got no ammo left, so I'm going to pick up that ammo box. I'm down. We all got sniped, every single one of us? Damn. All right, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a lobby after that one, but the good news here is I had like, in my attempt to get a good game recorded, I just kind of left my OBS recording for like the entire 2 or 3 hour session that I played the game, all right? So I'm just going to talk over some footage. On this left-hand side, you can see the rubble that I was talking about earlier on in the video. This will block your pass to the left, and you'll just skip the military part entirely, instead going to the right, which leads to a highway that has like a whole bunch of zombies on it, and you've got to like defeat a horde that's running through flames. This is a feature I like very, very much about this game. What they've done here is they've kind of found a middle ground. So one of the big issues you're going to run into when it comes to designing a game like this that's meant to be repeatedly playable with the same team over and over again is that you've got to make the call between fully procedural levels and you've got to make the call between handcrafted levels. What they've done here is they've struck a middle ground where they've taken a handcrafted level, but they've made it kind of like a flowchart, like a train track, and there's branch points where the level can take you into completely different directions. About 2 or 3 times per mission, there's these little breakpoints, and it's gonna take you a while before you hit all of them. Like, I think I was still seeing new ones after like 2 hours of playing this same first map. I was seeing them unlock and permutate in like strange ways, and so that's really cool. Right now we're fighting one of the special infected. These little purple guys right here are a big problem. If they hit you, they do a ton of damage, and then they also basically bottom out your purple meter altogether. I'm doing a pretty good job of staying out of the way of them, but like, there it is right there, big tap. You saw how much health I lost from just that hit, and we got to go into fisheye mode, which means we can't see very well. We've got like bad line of sight. I don't know how I feel about the purple bar depletion mode just yet. On one hand, I feel like maybe it's a little too consequential, and it can cause a snowball if too many teammates basically have their poise knocked out too early. Ooh, a flamethrower, huh? Yeah, I'll take a flamethrower. Let's do this thing, dude. Let's wharf the flamen. It's time for Holy Prometheum to decide who lives and dies. Nether cube here. Looks like we got a couple options to get health regen, 100% HP, 50% weapon damage against targets not in combat. I think probably the double HP is the strongest choice right here. On all the runs of this game I took the double HP every time it came up, and every single time it was awesome, because actually by default in this title, your character is very squishy. Ooh, big shootout over here. Eat these flames, nerd! Burn! Oh, okay, don't shoot me. As I was saying, your character by default is incredibly squishy in this game. Like this shootout that we're currently engaged in. Oh, I just magged up the back of my own teammate. I'm a douche. That was my bad. Team damage in this game is very, very high. As I mentioned previously, it is well within the realm of possibility to kill your teammate inside of like 10 bullets, basically, if they decide to walk across your line of sight. This definitely strikes me as a game that you need to communicate in. But, like, people, they just like to zigzag all over the place, don't they? I try to swing wide. I try to stay in the back. I try to, like, leave it. I love this crossing right here where you're, like, on a car that's barely wedged and then you go across a support pylon in order to get where you want to go. I didn't test if you could fall off of it down to the lower level, but here's that hallway again. I'm going to see if I can nade them out real quick. Let me see if I can nade these dudes. No. Oh! Oh my, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. I'm sorry. Let me pick you. I think I just killed my team, dude. Oh no. I told you at the beginning of the video, I'm not like the champion of this game. Oh no. Can I just mention that this guy is the John Wick of video gaming? I'm not gonna lie to you right now. This guy is clearing what I consider to be one of the toughest hallways in the game by himself. And that's after being sabotaged by a teammate who didn't understand how his grenades work. So that's my B. I'm gonna issue hey, he picked me, at least he picked me back up and he didn't just like leave the lobby. Honestly, that was the first time I've thrown a grenade. All right, I'm not a big grenade user and this is exactly why. I thought the grenade was going to fly all the way down the hallway like the red line implied. It was going to bounce off the wall. It was going to ricochet around collision. I was going to be like a pool ball throwing badass. Everybody was going to be like, all right, you're super awesome. Here's a bunch of nudity. And I was going to be like, yay, you know, like, and that is not what ultimately ended up happening. And now I looked like a fool. Why not pick up another grenade though, just in case I get another fun opportunity to blow up my entire team? My advice to you after that situation, never use grenades ever. All right, I do think that the friendly fire model in this game needs to be looked at. Like certain items like the grenade launcher and certain items like grenades and certain items like flamethrowers and arc throwers and things of that nature. My experience has been that maybe for consumables and whatnot, it might be a good idea to get rid of the friendly fire, except for on like a much higher difficulty. You know what I mean? Like just like with things like grenades, I feel like team play on the internet and how it functions. I don't know how to put my grenade down. I'm just gonna throw it over there so that I don't waste my team again. Listen, I want to play with the grenades. I want to figure out how they work, but we're like in a live fire situation right now, and I've almost killed my team once by fiddling around with the grenades, and like I want to know what went wrong on that last throw, because like I figured it would go where the red line said it was going to go, but it does not, and I'm like holding down the key the entire time. And so anyways, nether cube pickup right there. What else we got over here? We've got an ammo kit. I could probably use that. Yeah, a little bit of ammo for the flamethrower. I am not going to take the med kit because I'm responsible for why everybody has no health. These barricades right here are utterly fantastic, by the way. These barricades are pushable by players or by large amounts of zombies. And if you've got a flamethrower or a minigun, it's so easy to hold off the enemy right there, at least until they break through, and now I'm getting punched in the face repeatedly. One thing that needs to change about this game: you cannot reload while dodge rolling, and you cannot reload while being hit by enemies. I'm somewhat okay with not being able to finish a reload while dodge rolling, although the game is pretty fast-paced, and it does feature a dodge roll, which means they expect you to kind of be like extra mobile in this title, so I would like it if you actually finished your reload while dodge rolling, but I'm willing to cede that point. It's not as large of a deal to me as the player not being able to reload while being damaged. So most of the enemies in this game are faster than you are and can also hit you on the run. What this means is that I've seen entire teams just kind of get chain slapped by zombies, and everybody, you can see them spamming their R key trying to reload their gun, but nobody can do it. You're like dodge rolling, but you can't reload while you're doing that either. And it can lead to kind of these spiraling moments that lack agency that make the game just kind of feel bad. So that kind of needs to go as soon as possible. This is a safe room. These safe rooms will come up a couple times per mission. I'm actually glad we recovered. You have to make it to the safe room in order to advance your metagame progression. You have to make it. So if you don't make it to at least the first safe room, you don't unlock anything. You don't bank anything. Every safe room has a terminal that restores all of your missing red health. It will have a number of things that you can buy. So for example, this is a psionic nether cube. The psionic nether cube will give you a purple level up. And so we aren't using a purple weapon right now, so that's kind of a bummer. But it sort of is what it is. We'll just take something real fast. We don't have a psionic weapon. We have a biotic weapon with our flamethrower, and our assault rifle is a physical weapon. Inside of here, you're also going to be able to deposit your data nuggets. The game doesn't tell you, but as you're playing, you are getting data nuggets. And data nuggets can be put into a number of different stats, and this is how you get your permanent unlocks for the rest of the existence of the game. So right here, I'm actually putting points into a stat, which allows me to lose less health when I'm knocked down. So the portion of my meter that disappears is not quite as large whenever I get knocked down. While you're here, you have to deposit all your data nuggets, and then you also deposit your blueprints while you're here, which unlock different weapons that you can start the game with to make things a little bit easier on yourself. Like, you can start out with weapons that are tailored to the playstyle that you like. So if you like the purple weapons that tend to be more psi-focused, you can grab those at the beginning of the game. If you want to start with a grenade launcher, start with a grenade launcher. It's entirely up to you. I do like that customizable approach to allowing the player to decide how they want to play the game, basically. I do like that they let you pick your loadout at the beginning. We've made it on into the second map. We've got another special infected over here. These guys are basically tanks. You got to watch out for them. They will charge you, and it will hurt. They will sting. I'm actually really surprised our team has bounced back at this point, given the major amount of sabotage that I can... What you learned there is that I should not play around with grenades. I feel very embarrassed about the situation. I don't feel very happy about it. It's now going on the internet forever. You know, kind of, I wanted to see, I can't activate that from that side. I'll go around the other side and we'll go ahead and hit it. The levels in this game are actually really well designed in terms of their layout and their flow and the way that they react to player interaction. What I mean by that is you can see the glass wall goes down right there when I let the zombies into the room, and then the lights turn off, and then you get like that red siren that comes up out of the floor. There's so many of these little mechanical things in the game that happen whenever you open up like a new showdown arena or something changes. And I think that's good. Like, I think the best part about this game is probably the environmental design. It's done very well when it's bright enough to actually see. I'm being shot at. I don't like being shot at. Give me a med kit real fast. There we go. Let me get some ammo. Get a little ammo. All right, we got our bullets back. Ow. Okay, there goes all the health that I just stacked up because there's bullets flying in from off screen. Hurts my feelings. Makes me feel bad. We should probably smoke the guys that have guns. All right, is that the last of them? So many bullet boxes over here. What's going on back here? You guys got that solved? I do think a lot of the enemies are a little bit too soaky as well. Like, my observations, ooh, what can I do here? Yeah, we'll take the regeneration. The green that we get from the regeneration, too, the green point will make our flamethrower stronger. So that's good stuff right there. I think my observations after playing the game for a little while in terms of quality is that the enemies are a little bit too damage soaky until you get like a build going, which means that you churn through ammo, and I think the game doesn't quite have enough ammo. I think they could pretty safely double the amount of ammo for each weapon. And the game would feel a little bit better. This is a very shoot-heavy game, and I don't know how much I enjoy, like, counting my magazines in a shoot-heavy game, you know? Let's continue clearing out space in this area. This has a big focal point right there with that big glass tree in the middle. Very cool stuff. And I love that, like, with the way that they've sliced the environment, you can see those glass walls to the right of my character. They go up to the ceiling. But when they go down, you can actually see the thickness of, like, the containment unit in this game. You know, ooh, another nether cube. Nice. Let me get the nether cube. We'll go, I guess, put it all. If I ever find a purple weapon, we have 5 points in purple, which means that we're going to hit like a truck if the game ever decides to give us a purple weapon. Purple weapons are really good in this game versus things that have, like, a really high poise bar. That, like, you can't damage them until you break their poise. And so anyways, it's usually good. Like, this game does encourage very much. One thing I noticed along the way while I was playing the title is that it really does encourage diverse loadouts. So, for example, the flamethrower. It doesn't deal much damage, doesn't do any damage to your poise, but what it does do is it puts a dot on the enemy, and then it slows them down as well. It puts like a 50-60% move speed nerf on them a lot of the time, which works really well near a funnel for the rest of your teammates who are using weapons that actually deal damage to just gun them down, and the dot helps out with that process and saves them some ammo. if you were doing something like the arc thrower. So in this game, there's a gun that shoots a ray of lightning that bounces in between enemies. It does very little damage, but it breaks the enemy's poise bar almost instantly. And that doesn't seem that useful, except that, like, when you get further into these campaigns, like, you start to get to, like, mission number 3, you know, there's these enemies that are incorporeal that show up pretty much every other room that are made out of kind of like a purple smoke. And you cannot deal damage to them until you break their poise bar. So having somebody inside the group that either has access to flashbangs or has access to an arc thrower or a weapon that heavily damages the enemy's poise is not going to work. You know, like if you run an entire team with nothing but ARs, that's going to do really well in the early levels where everything is kind of weak to physical damage. But like this guy right here, breaking his poise is actually how you defeat him. He'll go into like a bit of a stun mode. And once he's in that stun mode, he'll take like much increased damage from pretty much every single source. So people using any type of weapon, including the one that broke his poise, will probably get like a 2x or like a 3x modifier, and that's when the big dog's health is going to start to go down at pretty much the exact same rate as a normal mooks would. Where's our other teammate at? Where are you going? Get back over here. I also need ammo. Give me some quick bullets real fast. I need some bullets. I'm also being shot at. See, I just got these fresh bullets, and now I gotta spend them shooting an enemy. I got a teammate spamming gather here at me while I'm taking fire. I'm trying to be with you, my friend. You do have kind of like these weird sections right here where it's got kind of like the arrival going on. Or like, I don't know, dude, like that cubist sort of alien. Ooh, a level 4 assault rifle. Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna need that. Now, that's not really gonna make the gun any better right now, but it does add 2 more affixes to another purple, of course, because I have a red weapon that's level 4. Why would I not get purple? Sigh. We will find a purple weapon someday, and when we find that purple weapon, it shall be a glorious day, my friends. So glorious. I might actually even be a contributor to my team if I found a weapon like that. A big and glorious, beautiful weapon like that. But yeah, my closing thoughts about the game, because we're kind of getting to the point where I'm talking over video footage right now. I'm kind of outside my wheelhouse. Let's talk about what I do and don't like about this game. I'll go with the things I like first, because for some reason, starting out with all the things that I don't like feels like I'm making a laundry list to like hate on the game, and then I try to like bring it back with my little compliment sandwich. So I like to start with the good stuff first. The sound effects of the guns, the firing of the guns, the report of the guns, the impact of the guns, all that stuff feels really fantastic. There's a wide variety of special zombies in this game. They look different. It seems like the normal mook zombies can look very different as well and have loads of different outfits. Every single horde that attacked you looks unique to me. Aside from that, there seems to be a wide variety of weapons. Those weapons have a wide variety of mods on them. I like the way that you actually have to build your character every single run to do something and use a certain type of weapon. Otherwise, you're kind of being a jack of all trades. And I think that's a really cool system. It would be even cooler if the weapons had randomized mods on them. But from what I saw, it looked like the mods are the same every single time. I think the mods should be randomized after level 2. So guns should have an inherent 2 mods, and then the 2 after that should be randomized from a list when the gun drops, so that you can, get a little bit of that Diablo flavor inside of there. I find the meta progression to be satisfying. The game strikes a good balance between run-only upgrades and actual permanent upgrades that last you for the rest of your time with the game, and they felt like they were consequential in the latter category, like being able to regenerate health, being able to lose a lot less health off your meter when you get knocked down. Stuff like that made your character feel a lot better. I also gushed in this video about the level design. I think the level design is really good. It has little permutations and little branching paths that are different every single time you play the game. That's going to add a little bit of refreshment, not as much as you would get from something like the fully procedural set-piece levels of, let's say, Deep Rock Galactic, but certainly better than the games that just ship with static levels that do not have those branching paths. It at least gives you a little bit of freshness in there to play around with, and the level design to me was nice enough that I enjoyed those little permutations. It didn't mind altogether that much that the levels were the same every single time. Like every run I did during this beta, you got a little bit of fresh, but you got a little bit of different, and you never knew which way it was going to go. Now, on the side of things that need to change, this game is being run via a committee. So they basically have a Trello board or something where you vote on everything about the game, and by everything, I mean everything. Like, legitimately right now on their board, they are holding a vote whether or not the game should have mouse control. I think that their democratic development of this game is a tiny bit too granular. Something like mouse control on the PC should 100% just be in the game. That should not necessitate a vote. That's far too small of an issue to need a vote from the community. It should just be a thing. And so there's a chance that the development might get caught up in the weeds just by democratizing their output a little too much on small things that don't really matter. Movement speed in this game needs to go up. The players should be faster than zombies. I'm sorry, but being outrun by a necrotic office worker just did not feel good to me. I feel like the movement speed in this game could probably be topped up and feel a little bit more natural. About 20 to 30% faster baseline. The game does have some perks inside of it that allow you to move faster. However, they don't come up every single run, so it's very possible that you'll end up slow boating and being outrun by everything on the map the entire game. And I found that the runs where those mods to your movement speed did not come up, they definitely felt like they chugged a lot more than the ones where, like in the first level, on the first drop from a nether cube, someone got the move speed upgrade that increases everybody's movement by 20%, at which point the game felt really, really natural and actually felt a lot better to play. So I think they should just base kit increase the movement by like 20-30% and then leave the other 20% boost in there just to make you have these fun speedy runs going around. I'm a little on the fence about how severe friendly fire is in this game. On one hand, stuff like that works really well for titles like GTFO and makes the game a lot more tense and makes the game a lot more tactical. But that also in turn necessitates a lot more communication on the part of teammates that may just want to clock out, play the game, and not really participate in a whole bunch of VoIP or whatever else, which then locks you out of market share. So I don't know. With stuff like that, I could swing in either direction. Like, I kind of sit on the fence about stuff like that because I can see the downside and I can see the appeal. I think every game's got to pick its own personality with regard to that. When it comes to grenades in this game, not player grenades, there are enemies that throw grenades at you. When enemies throw grenades at you in this game, they're really hard to see and they explode too fast. The game needs to telegraph its grenades much better and also give the player probably another full second to 2 seconds to get out of the way of grenades, because in the heat of the moment, it took me a while to notice. I felt like me and my teammate were just falling down randomly while we were playing a level. We were not falling down randomly. Enemies were throwing grenades at us, but the graphic for the grenade is like this tiny little mote of purple in a game that uses purple to represent pretty much everything enemy related. And so they're very difficult to see, and it can feel like you were just dying outright for no reason. And it's actually grenades after some investigation. Hitboxes felt pretty good to me. The dodge roll felt really good to me. I think this game actually impressed me with its beta. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. There's definitely some stuff to move around on the margins here, but I think they've got a good idea to run with. Now, if they've only got one level in their final release when the game comes out, I think they're going to be in trouble. We saw this with Raven's Watch recently, where one level was just not enough to keep the community happy, and the downvotes, they started showing up on Steam. In order to keep the game replayable, I would definitely recommend having at least 2 campaigns of like 4 missions each. That's just because, like, I love co-op shooters, man. I love them, but my entire career, I've been seeing them release with, like, too little content and just, like, die outright in the first couple weeks because they can't get, like, for a game like this, you need to have that baseline 3,000 people on the Steam servers at all times. That's, like, the bare minimum to make a game like this function in like a real matchmaking respect without people having to jump through extra hoops like going to a Discord, which is going to like further weed out members of the community, which, you know, it's just going to stop people from playing. Why play this one when I can get other stuff? And so like map variety is going to be key here if they want like their earliest pushes to go. They're going to want to make sure that there's lots of things that are different about each run, and so that means getting lots of variety in the things that you can spend data nuggets on, and like slots and things of that nature that get developed on. And I think there's still going to need to be a couple more developmental systems added to the game that persist in between runs and also individual to runs that allow each one to feel special and unique. But this is a game where I feel like the fundamentals are in the right spot. I want to make that clear. I think a lot of the fundamentals are in the right spot for this game. There's obviously balanced things. There's obviously some classes that I think are better than other classes. But if you take this down to a bare bones level, I enjoyed my time that I spent with Blackout Protocol. And that's good. Normally with like co-op games, I'm a little bit temperamental. Sometimes I'm just like, and it doesn't pop for me. I would say it's like 50-50. This one did. I have repeatedly tuned back in to play each of their betas over the last 2-3 betas. Like, I've made an effort to like follow them on Steam, and when they have a new beta live, I jump on into it and I play a couple rounds. And so I think this is promising. I love their art style. I love their map design. Obviously, there's a lot of balancing and a lot of things to be fiddled with. It needs some more variety. It needs some more stuff to make both the individual runs and the long-term development of your permanent character feel good and satisfying. But I think they've got their feet on some pretty good footholds lower down on the wall right now, and I think that's going to allow them to climb a little bit. What they are lacking is people to play the game. Every beta that I've played of this game, it takes forever to get a lobby. There's just not that many people. When I check Steam charts, there's like maybe a couple hundred people in the actual test itself. I'd have to check the actual specific numbers, but I remember it being like a small number for like the entire planet, which means it's very difficult to get lobbies that aren't like laggy or like aren't from all over the world, so at least like half your players are like rubber banding all over the place. It needs more people, so I figured I'm in a spot where I can do something about that, and I can't say that this game's going to be amazing when it comes out, but I am enjoying the beta, so I figured I would put this on out here, and because they're democratizing pretty much everything about the game through that forum board where you can vote on features and stuff, they need more feedback. They're not getting enough feedback from what I looked at. I think like one of their things had like 50-something votes on it, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, they need more massive players to get this thing going. So I figured I'd help out. I'd give the game the best shot it could possibly have. This is Blackout Protocol. I've enjoyed my time with it. It's not done yet. It's not fully baked. It's not fully proved. But I'm hoping it turns into something awesome because I have enjoyed the last couple betas. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. I will be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet, but for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, everybody, and that's all I got for you.